You know what else is all right? Vinyl Verdict, the show where friends become family.
Wow,
that
that's
what we
crazy.
do?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Where friends become family. This week we're talking about my pick, Yaeji EP1 plus EP2. You know, you'll be surprised. It is a combination of the first EP and the second EP by Yaeji. Yaeji is the Brooklyn-based Korean-American singer/DJ that you probably haven't heard of, but someone you should probably keep your eye on because even with a pretty limited release library, she's been blowing up the indie house and hip-hop music scene with her vibey, mellow dance music, which is kind of a weird combo, and it is. It's a pretty weird combo, but most all of her songs are a mix of Korean and English, but even if you don't speak Korean, I feel like it flows between the languages like so well that I feel like I understand what she's trying to say or like emote, which is very interesting. Like I don't really listen to a whole lot of songs in foreign languages.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I liked this kind of vibe where you're like listening to it and you understand the words, and then you don't really realize that you no longer understand the words. You're just like still vibing and like in that same moment or
the
feeling.
melody is you're picking up on the melody.
I listen to a lot of like Japanese city pop.
Yeah, I was gonna say city pop. Yeah, I'm into that too.
I just did that with Alex Clark when we were doing the Lucid review. He had on this Japanese city pop music, and I was like, dang, this bangs.
Yeah, it's good
yeah,
stuff.
it's good. Yeah,
really good.
That record store I bought that bootleg from in Japan sells a lot of city pop. If you're interested, in
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that is their music.
Yeah. The shipping is reasonable.
Yaeji is pretty new to the scene, with her first single only being released in 2016, and EP1 and EP2 both releasing in 2017, and her only full mixtape or album is What We Drew, which released in 2020. She's released some singles. They're good. Pretty limited, though. It's like remixes and stuff like that. But even with this limited library, she's on BBC's Sounds of 2018 list and performed at Coachella that same year.
Oh,
so,
cool.
like, she only has, you know, especially by 2018, maybe a dozen songs.
Wow.
But still performing at Coachella on these lists, blowing up the scene. And outside of music, she has a YouTube channel, which is very adorable. It's like little life vlogs and stuff like that. It's all like just little vibey music she makes and scenery of what she's doing. And she just opened a store called G-Mart.
What does she sell in G-Mart?
Like clothes. She sells stuffed animals.
Oh, cool.
And I'm very jealous that I don't live in New York because online it like sold out immediately.
Of course it did. Yeah.
And she just has a physical store. But
Should have got Dan to pick you up some.
Oh, yeah.
next time,
like
Dan, if you're listening to this and you're still in New York for some reason, first of all, come back. We miss you. Second of all, pick me up something from G-Mart. Because it's very jealous. The album itself, like I said, is aptly named EP1 and EP2. What is interesting, though, is side A is EP2 and side B is EP1.
Okay.
I won't get into whether I like it or not yet, but that actually tracks very well with me personally.
Yes.
Yeah, EP2 is stronger. We can admit this.
Okay.
EP2
Yeah,
is
all right.
EP2 is
way
great.
stronger.
Like in comparison to EP1, EP2 is a far better listen.
Yeah, and it did confuse me a little bit because I'm going to talk about the record pretty quick here, but instead of at the end. But the record label is not super clear on the record itself, so I like put it on, and I thought, okay, and I like flipped it over. I'm like, no.
Oh, is it one of those ones where it says on the obverse side, it like the label is for both sides?
No, it's because it has like a big A and a big 1, and I was like, oh, okay. In my head, I was like side 1, and I like put it on. I'm like, B, is that? Oh, is this actually not? It didn't say B, it says EP.
Oh.
So this is EP2, but I'm like, no, it's not. So I like didn't know which way to put it. So speaking of the record, it's got on the front a very ethereal Yaeji.
Cool.
That is the front. Okay.
Peach tones.
I love the artwork.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Well, is it like Braille or
It's got dots all over it, like little hexagons.
Oh, okay.
It's very like early 2000s. It kind of reminds me of like a retro future, but like not too retro. And the back is a blurry photo of her and more dots.
I like all the writing and stuff. I actually really like the back.
Yeah, right. And then I have
VIP
number 6.
Exclusive? Yeah.
Yes, I have number 649 of the Vinyl Me Please edition.
Oh, that's where you got it.
Okay.
I was going to ask if you had to like
I
order
was
from her store.
stoked when this came out because I love Yaeji and I subscribed to Vinyl Me Please for some reason. And I was like, heck yeah, like actual vinyls that I want, like insane.
That's like, it sucks because I wish I could stay subscribed. It's just sometimes they have stuff that I've already got, and so I don't like paying the $50 for like another copy of 36 Chambers or whatever,
or something you don't really want.
If you have another copy of
or
36 Chambers, I'll buy that.
I had like 3 months in a row of
I think I do
just
have 2
store
copies, or I'll sell
credit,
you a
so I was like, I
copy,
gotta stop.
Yeah, exactly. But they do have some crazy good, like surprisingly amazing releases sometimes that you just can't get anywhere else.
Wu-Tang.
Not 36 Chambers. You can get that anywhere.
In the record itself, we have a poster.
Oh, I love posters.
One is like a bunch of dots
like a map.
again. I don't know.
It's like pointillism of her
what
face.
it's trying to make.
Is that what that's called?
I think it's pointillism. Let me check.
I don't see a face, but Plouffe does. Maybe it's like one of those magic 3D
Do you
posters.
seriously not see a face? Her glasses are on the left, on the top there.
It's the portrait. Yeah, it's just done as dots.
I don't know. I'm not enhanced enough to see it, I
Can't
guess.
see pointillism? Yeah,
Well,
it is pointillism.
look at it from like further away.
I can't. My arms are only so long. On the other side, we have another very ethereal photo of Yaeji.
It's kind of like the back.
Kind of like yelling into the void.
front.
But there's someone else.
Sure.
Because I can see a chest above Yeji's head.
Yeah,
there's
a
I can find chests in any photo. So. And then there's like just some like a message to the reader, just talking about the making of the album and then what sides and everything like that. So
that's cool.
Pretty cool. Definitely a very vibey inner sleeve that kind of matches the outside and everything like that.
Sure.
Anyone including a poster automatically gets bonus points.
Heck yeah.
Like my copy of Dark Side of the Moon comes with a poster.
Yeah.
And then the jacket itself, we got yellow on one side, and then I thought it was a Jedi, but it is an umbrella.
Oh yeah,
Someone under an umbrella.
I see how you can think it's a lightsaber.
It definitely looks like a lightsaber. And then we have the record itself, which is
blue.
Oh, it's translucent.
Translucent
Yeah.
blue. So we have A, and then we have EP2.
It's got some
and on this
schmutz
side, B, but there is no B. I think maybe that's where the confusion came from.
Okay.
It doesn't say B, so I was like, oh,
Yeah,
what is this supposed to be?
It doesn't
EP1?
always. Like usually if there's one side listed on one
Oh, it
side, they
does
don't
have a B
always
on it.
list on the other side.
Yeah. So that's cool. But it doesn't have a B. No, that's EP.
No, look, it's the black dots. It makes a B.
Oh, see.
Ah.
Holy smokes, dude. This has got layers. Viewer, you can't see it, but maybe look it up because you'll see if either I'm just very dumb or if Jamie is just so enhanced he can see everything.
It helps that I'm sitting like 10
one
feet
of
away
those
from
things
it.
where you gotta see it.
This is a really big room. He's like 20 feet away from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And then Plouffe is 20 feet away from
If
Jamie.
you've ever
It's crazy.
seen like Putin's long ass desk, that's basically what I have, except it takes up the entire living room.
Yeah, Jamie doesn't want to sit next to us. So Plouffe and I are shoulder to shoulder. And then Jamie is very far away.
Jamie's the Putin of the bunch.
But yeah, what were you guys' initial thoughts of the album?
Well, listening to EP1, I was not super interested after a few songs. EP2 is definitely a lot stronger. I still don't think it's entirely for me, but I do like a lot of parts of it. It's weird. I kind of describe it as like lo-fi blitzball music. If they took away if they changed the like guitar with like a synth or something, because there's a lot of that like single tone in the background, and there's a lot of like synth, and it's very almost underwater. Sounding
I can see that.
sometimes. Yeah, so it reminds me of like the old. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time while listening to it, and I'm like, it's like the blitzball music from FF10, except no like screaming guitar or whatever.
There's a lot of 2-note chords.
Yes.
Yeah. And they alternate.
The songs I like are the ones where she sings more than like talks or chants.
Yes.
Because that's kind of my only problem.
EP1 has a lot of just talking ones.
Yeah, and I don't like it. Sorry. Yeah, and I don't like it.
Man, I'm not gonna
It's
edit
like,
out that.
All right, it's like the one thing I actually really like her voice when she sings, but when she's just talking or whatever, she just sounds bored, and it's like, cool. I don't know. That was my only issue. But those songs really dragged it down for me.
She kind of has like a melancholy tone on the EP1, and then EP2 has a little bit more upbeat tone to it. It is definitely not for me. Although I did enjoy EP2 a heck of a lot more than I enjoyed EP1.
It's much stronger.
Yes.
Much stronger.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that they were the same year. Like, I think EP1 was March and EP2 was November.
They came out in the same year.
So it's like, wow, there was quite a bit of growth in that short amount of time. But I do feel like they do kind of have certain moods between the two.
If you look on Spotify, the plays for EP2 are in our top 5, and the plays for Yaeji are not even in the top 5. Not even
so
in the top
EP1 is
10.
self-titled.
Yes, it's just called Yaeji.
I don't know. I'm still pretty torn because like the songs I like, I really do like them. And then the ones I don't, I'm like, oh God, please just stop. But I like the backing track in most of them. I find they overuse. Well, it makes sense for the scene they're going for, but I find they overuse the bass just a little bit too much.
Yeah, fair.
A couple tracks specifically that we can get into later where it's just like really driving bass, and it's like, add anything more to this, please. Just a couple more layers, and I would like this so much more. So yeah, I have pretty mixed thoughts on it overall, but the positive is very positive. I'll put it that way. Why'd you pick it?
So I started listening to Yaeji probably in 2020. I listened to the single One More, and I don't remember how I stumbled across it. Like, it's probably in a Spotify playlist or shuffle or whatever like that. But like really quickly, I was like, holy, this is like the scene I like. It's when I started experimenting with enhancing and stuff like that during COVID and quarantine and all that stuff. So I was like really getting into club music, and like that's when I discovered George Clanton and stuff like that as well.
Oh, okay.
So I was really in that kind of zone of music.
Yeah.
And when I kind of started listening to the rest of it, I was like, holy, this is awesome. Like, again, it's really where my head was at, and maybe even still is at. So when I was on Vinyl Me Please and saw this pop up, I was like, I need to grab it. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I know it wasn't like super expensive.
They're often like $30 on VMP, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, exactly. $30 US, which is,
average.
Yeah, totally average.
I think I went on there the other day and it's like $32.99 Canadian or something like that.
Yeah,
so
definitely not bad. Again, this is a limited one, so it's probably a little bit more expensive. But I don't know. I just have been listening to her over the last 2 years now, and it's one that I will usually suggest to people if they're kind of like into that scene. So other people who maybe go out dancing or whatever like that, I would recommend it. Or when I had people over before we went to a work event a couple weeks ago, I would just put it on quietly in the background. Because it's a really good album. You can either just have quietly as background music, or you can turn it up and all of a sudden it's dance music, which is a hard balance to find with a lot of albums.
Yes, that actually is an interesting point, because I thought about it and I was like, at a low volume, it sounds like music that you would play in a slightly upscale like restaurant or like a place like a bar that serves like fancy ass drinks. And it's just like it's wispy and like ethereal enough that you're not really paying attention to it, and it's got a beat and you can kind of like feel it out a little bit. But if you crank it up, you're right. It has something you could sort of dance to. I mean, it's not the kind of dancing I do. I don't really dance at all.
It reminds me of like the whole time I was listening to it, I had a music video in my head, and it's like her just like looking depressed and like slowly dancing melancholily or whatever. I don't even know if melancholy is a word, but basically, like, she looks all sad and depressed, and she's just like dancing. It's kind of slow.
I'm sure she does that while she's DJing. Like,
yeah, probably, right? Exactly. But yeah, I had a very strong image of that in my the whole time, basically every track. I was listening to it with headphones on, with it cranked, and so I got the dance vibe like the whole time.
The only way I listen to it on my stereo.
Yeah, my speakers, if it's not like through my receiver and it's just my computer speakers, they suck. So I listen to most things on my headphones unless I'm listening to a record.
Those tower speakers I've got in my living room.
Oh yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. And this is like listening off Spotify because I don't have the album like Belle does.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty good on those ones, but they have two woofers in each speaker, so it was kind of pounding them, so I kind of had to turn them down so I didn't get a noise.
One note I made on a few tracks was I could go driving to this. I thought it was really good driving music. A lot of the time. It does
remind me of music in Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it reminds me of old video game music quite a bit.
Yeah,
or like menu music in GT. Yeah, totally.
What are those Namco games? The drifting ones.
Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
I
know.
Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer. Yeah, totally. That's exactly what it reminded me of alongside the Blitzball stuff.
Yeah, I have that note down as well, where it's like this is very PS2,
totally.
like early 2000s music.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one I remember. I told Jamie, I'm expecting a record, and like, because I get stuff shipped to the office,
is that the one
and it like shows up, and I open it and I go, yes, this is my next choice, like, because this only just came out a couple months ago.
Cool.
Is this when you were coming back from vacation?
Yeah. And I was stoked. I like before leaving on vacation, I dropped by the office to like pick up this record before I went back.
You got another one the other day. Did Jeff give it to you?
I sure did.
Okay, cool.
That was Kendrick Lamar.
Oh,
nice.
Mr. Morale.
Oh, they had it in stock at the...
Yeah, this was another limited one.
Oh, okay.
Because I like just throwing away money, I guess. I got to get the limited one, even though it sounds the same, if not worse, than just a black one.
That's the one with the crown of thorns. He's wearing the crown of thorns, right?
He's got his child in his hands.
Yeah, they had it in stock the other day at Elevated, which is up the street from...
Well, no free clout. Editor, blur that.
Blur that. They're a very nice couple that own a local business, so I patronize them.
Well, should we listen to it one more time?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Before we talk about it?
Heck yeah.
I thought we were talking about it.
In depth.
Oh.
Even more in depth.
When the sweaty walls are banging, I don't with family planning. Make it rain, girl, make it rain. Make it rain, girl, make it rain. make it rain, girl, make it rain, make it rain, girl, make it rain. 그게 아니야, 그게 아니야, 그게 아니야, 아니야, 그게 아니야, 그게 아니야. Hard at building trust from a distance. I think we should rule out commitment.
All black, from head to toe. All black, from head to toe. All black, from head to toe.
Yeah, that was EP1 and EP2. Well, EP2 and EP1.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird that 2 is first, but like I said, it makes so much sense. And is it like a short enough EP that
it doesn't bleed over?
Yeah, it doesn't bleed over or anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they did that because I think, like we've all agreed on, 2 is just
and I think
she found her voice.
They're
at
very
that point.
similar lengths too. I think EP2 is 18
like
and one's
19
19.
minutes,
Yeah.
That was one thing I didn't mind most of the track lengths. There's like one song that's 5.5 minutes or something, and I was like, okay, this could have ended. But most of them are about 3.5 minutes. They don't overstay their welcome, and
Except for that 5-minute one.
except for the 5-minute one, which
We'll talk about more on that one. But it starts with Feelings Change, which is very like slow, which actually kind of like it's one of the few like actual slow songs.
I wrote interestingly slow start to EP2.
I had an observation about EP. Are we talking about?
Well, we
EP?
got to do it in
EP2
order.
is the
Oh,
first
this
songs,
is the
yeah.
first side. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that about the number of singles. So there's only 5 tracks on both of them. They both albums had 4 singles released. So it was like she knew that one of them was a bad song or not worth being a single. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense for EPs though. EPs are usually
It's pretty much a collection of singles anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point. Anyway,
But yeah, it's interesting for Feelings Change because it's a lot slower than the other ones, but it kind of sets the mood of the lyrics. Because even in the dancey ones, they are still very kind of introspective lyrics.
Yeah.
Yep.
I translated the Korean on some of them.
Oh,
It was
cool.
kind of hard to get translations, but it's pretty much always like talking about Zen and the other side of things and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Oh,
So it like really sets the tone lyrically of what is being talked about throughout what happens to be both of the EPs, even though this is obviously just the start of the first one.
I believe Genius has in the annotations.
Oh, they have all
the
the
ones I
English
checked, Genius did not have
translations?
anything.
Oh, okay.
I like clicked on it. It's like you can add annotations. Well, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
but I
It's about
kind of
buttons.
wish it was shorter because I just want to get to Rain Girl.
Yeah,
Because
it's
Rain
a
Girl is
huge
just so
change.
good. I want to
Yeah.
get to Rain Girl, even though this is still a good song.
It's her top single on
Rain
Spotify.
Girl is so good.
Yeah.
It's so this one I said that if I was just chilling in my living room, I wouldn't want to listen to this like at all. But if I was like going out and drinking at a club or dancing or whatever, yeah, banger would be great.
Yeah, this is good, like getting ready music.
Super
having
great,
people
yeah.
over. It's just like on. Again, it's the first one. That's fine. Again, it intros to everything. It's kind of like good in and out music.
Yeah.
This is like one of the ones I could see at a fancy restaurant, just like vibing on.
And then like it would be one of those places where like as the night goes on, the music gets progressively louder, and you're trying to ask the bartender for a drink, and it's just like, "What did you want?" And it's like, "I want a rum and coke." It's like, "Ryan Ginger, sure."
You're like, what is happening?
I want a Rain Girl.
Rain Girl, holy,
Rain
what a
Girl.
song! This song,
Good. Yeah.
this song is. I mean, the lyrics make sense. It's hot. It's sweaty. The walls are banging.
Yeah.
I want to bop this in a club. I've always just listened to it in my
yeah.
car on headphones. I listen to the song everywhere, but I want to hear it in an actual club.
You know that
dancing.
YouTube thing where it's like you're listening to the song, but you're in the bathroom at the club.
This would be a good one. of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not make. Check out youtube.com/vinylverdict. We've ripped this song and made that video happen. I don't know what any of the lyrics mean really, or like if they're supposed to be anything more deeper than just what's on the surface of like, again, like banging and things getting hot and sweaty and having vodka and things getting foggy and you don't go to family planning.
No, I don't think. I caught that line. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know if it's supposed to mean anything different than the way it sounds, but I don't really care. It's provocative. It gets me going. And it's repetitive in a good way because again, it's like a club song. If you're not a club, it's just repetitive.
That was pretty much my only problem with it. If I was just trying to like sit here and chill in my living room, was I'm like it's a little too repetitive. But if I was dancing to it, then it'd be great, perfect.
This is my favorite Yaeji
If I
song.
was fucking obliterated, it would be.
You always are though. So let's.
It's a rare sober moment for me.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite Yaeji song. Maybe tied with the next song, Drink I'm Sipping On.
Drink I'm Sipping On is probably my other favorite as well. Probably because she sings on it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I like her singing voice, and I wish she sang instead of talked a little bit more.
Yeah, the spoken word stuff is a little much after a while.
I don't know what she's saying. Again, I actually don't think I even Googled this one. Because, again, I didn't really care. I just really liked it. And, again, the English kind of right before the chorus and everything like that was enough to be like, okay.
I read an interview with her talking about, both EPs, I guess, at this point. And she said that she includes the Korean on there because as a kid, she grew up in the United States and then moved back to Korea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
And her Korean wasn't very good. But when she was living in the States, she felt like she didn't fit in either because she didn't look like the other people she went to school with. So that's why she splits the languages. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of sad at the same time.
That's neat. And I like it as well because when I sing along to the song, I sing the Korean not knowing what it is. I'm like, Kugeyane, hey.
Let's go.
Yeah, I have no idea. It could be something awful and I'll never know. But it is very catchy. Let's see what's after that. We got after that's after that.
Yeah. So what's in a name, right?
This one's the one I was like, this is very like PS2 game music or early 2000s. It's very surreal. I felt myself kind of getting lost in the weird bleeps and bloops.
I didn't like those.
It's not super strong,
bloops.
but
that's my main problem with it. I didn't like the weirdly pitched notes.
They kind of seemed scattered and arbitrary.
Yeah, but I like her singing again, and otherwise I like it. It's just those notes kind of killed it for me a couple times.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Yeah. And then Passion Fruit.
Yeah, so this ends this EP2 is Passion Fruit.
A cover of a Drake song.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I didn't even know that. I really like the piano.
It's a banger. I like this one too.
Yeah.
It is a good ending to this because I feel like it's kind of more relaxed and chill. They're still singing and everything like that, but it's not like heavy banging like the other ones. It kind of matches Feelings Change to kind of start and cap the EP.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a bookend. Yeah, okay.
I wrote the lyrics are cute and it's a nice track to end the album. My only problem though is I don't like the auto-tune that gets on her voice during a bunch of the singing. I thought it was kind of unnecessary, but
it's very of its time.
Yeah. I just hate auto-tune.
Actually, it's still of its time because auto-tune is still very
popular. Still around. Yeah, it's still a thing.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's very like trance-like for me, and again, it's just nice to get lost in it and just bop your head.
Man, I wonder if in 30 years, like some of the albums I bring are well over 30 years old.
Yeah,
and we say that they're of a time. I wonder if we'll say something about that.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
these albums being of a time.
In the future, it'll be.
In the future, there will be robots.
Laser kazoo will be the primary instrument.
Hell yeah.
And we'll look back at physical instruments and be like, cringe. I can't believe they played guitar when they didn't have the laser kazoo.
Why couldn't they just hook themselves up to a computer that made noises based on
their
thoughts?
They didn't put a prompt.
Waves.
They didn't put a prompt into DALL-E and get a song. Cringe.
I find it weird. Like I was playing Cyberpunk and I was like, the music sounds too much like the music that we would listen to now. Why doesn't it sound like future music?
Been awful.
People.
They should just made awful music and been like, well, that's what they listen to. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
It's been like grindcore all the time.
Well, it's not that far in the future, right? It's only 50 years.
Yeah. So I thought it was fine.
And like the initial part, well, we don't need to talk about the game.
Yeah, sure. EP1.
EP1, the weaker album, not awful.
No,
definitely weaker. I feel like it's a lot more repetitive than the other side.
The two albums as a compilation were listed as number 50 on the top 50 albums of 2017.
It made the
by
list.
Pitchfork. Yeah, so they combined them together. They didn't put them as two separate albums.
Actually, impressive because like that's the first thing she released.
Pitchfork hates everything. Pitchfork is a music publication that hates music.
But they liked Yaeji enough to put it on.
So both of them
50.
were rated at 7.1 out of 10, which is basically 100.
Yeah, for any normal person.
Wow.
Well, this side doesn't get 100 for me.
No.
I do like Noonside. I tried to translate this one, and I think it means yen is the other side. So it's again like very relaxing. Feels kind of like menu music or something like that. It just kind of goes on. It's head boppy, but nothing special.
It's not a bop like the Wii Shop music, though.
No, I wish.
I like the backing track, and I think it could be in a video game. I'm not crazy about the vocals, especially when she just starts repeating herself about a third of the way in.
Yes, the repetition.
Yeah, that was driving me nuts. It's a little nice little drop though when she's done. Yeah, this is because I listened to them in order the first time, and that's how I made my notes.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm just not crazy about the vocals. Her voice is it's like too talky. There's some parts about 2/3 in where she's more singy, and this sounds way better. But she just sounds bored otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say about this one. I didn't.
You didn't enjoy EP1.
Yeah, I didn't like EP1 at all. But I especially didn't like the second to last track when we get to that.
Yeah, Jamie and I briefly discussed it at work one day. I know
that's illegal.
I know we're not supposed to.
It is illegal.
First of all, that's exclusion. I wasn't included. Second of all, that's illegal.
You were filming a video, so.
But I had only listened to the first EP, and I was like, oh god, I don't like this.
That's okay. My top albums so far. Have been ones you guys don't like.
Totally.
So it's okay.
It's fine.
Have they?
Not as strongly as me. Like George Clanton, you guys were like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Mac Miller, you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Plouffe said he said horrible things. I won't repeat.
I didn't.
I
didn't like
the
Mac
cutting
Miller.
room floor of Mac Miller's.
Subscribe to Patreon to see the extended Plouffe rant.
I liked Slide. I just didn't like the Mac Miller stuff that much.
But New York '93. How did you feel about that one?
I like the bass and how it kicks in at the start. And I would like to drive around to this song. This is one of the ones where I specified I'd like to drive to it, either in a game or in real life. I love the echo that comes in on her voice that makes it almost sound like a round later on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I thought that this could be in like the original Wipeout on PS1 or like Ridge Racer or something. Very much video game track. I like New York '93.
I love trance music. I feel like that's maybe why I like George Clanton as well. And this one's definitely like, ooh, it goes. The whispers kind of go between the left and right ear.
Yeah.
It's a little ASMR with this trance music, and it's just like, oh, it gets me going. And like you said, I want to drive and bop my head to this.
Totally.
For people at home, I don't usually make written notes for any of the stuff. I usually just go from memory. Thank you. I actually made written notes for this whole album and then left it at home. So
I was actually wondering. I'm like, you said you wrote notes. I don't see anything.
I kind of left in a hurry for no particular reason today.
Yeah, you're
just
early.
show up 15 minutes early.
Yeah,
I showed up 15 minutes. I had to run an errand. But I made notes on it, and I did write nice things about New York '93.
Cool.
I think that is probably the standout track from this album. Side of the album I didn't like.
I agree. Just looking at like the next three that we've got to talk about, I definitely New York '93 is the best of EP1 in my opinion.
Fair.
And I even like it more than some of EP2. I really like New York '93.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't have a reaction like that.
Yeah, Feel It Out kind of feels like a predecessor to Rain Girl. Like it's good, but it's just not as fleshed out. That when this is the vocal thing, it feels like the words are just kind of falling out of her mouth. Like she's just talking and they're going. It's a good song. I like the line, is crazy, shit is Yaeji. And I go, hell yeah. Every time I'm like, shit is crazy, shit is Yaeji. And I'm like, hey. But yeah, the words are just like, blah, 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 which doesn't do it for me. And it just makes me want to listen to Rain Girl or something else. Like, this feels like it's trying to be. And maybe it's just because that bass line is just hitting in a very similar way.
Very driving. Yeah. The synth on it makes it feel a bit darker as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I think she sounds like MC Chris sometimes on this track.
I don't know who that is.
I'll play. It's like you don't want to know.
It's not a compliment.
It's not a compliment, no.
Damn.
But yeah, that's all I really have. I didn't enjoy the chorus that much, but
Chris.
I like the beat.
I've thought about that in forever.
I know, right? We'll listen later, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah,
pulling up deep cuts of bad things on the internet.
Yeah, MCP pants for those who know. Glop.
There are 4 people laughing their ass off right now. 2 of them are in this room.
Oh yeah! Hey, shout out to everyone who listens to the podcast. So like we're thrilled at how many people have actually bothered to listen to it.
Yeah, thanks for sending us tweets too. It's
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Yeah, a couple of people have actually tweeted at us. Oh, and the one group.
Jazzbastic.
Oh yeah. That was super cool.
I'm glad they listened to it. I'm sorry we didn't like the album as much.
I know. Immediately, I was like, I wish I gave it a higher rating. Now I know they were listening, but hey, they like Plouffe.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
And I like Guap, even though y'all don't like Guap.
Guap sucks.
I don't know what Guap is, but it's something.
This is a flex song, so I didn't know what Guap meant. It means lots of money. So they're like, they're talking about Beamers, Grey Goose, having money, VIP sections of the club, and the vibe is immaculate. But this is a long song.
Yes.
And it's again, I like trance, but this is a lot of just like the same thing.
Yes, it is.
All black from head to toe. All black from head to toe. All black for a big section of the song. I'm like, okay.
I would have been very okay if it had just ended at like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's even a really good stopping point for it.
Yeah,
they could have easily
trimmed
it off.
Keeps going
for like 1.5 minutes.
Oh god,
it's 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, they could have easily cut a minute plus off.
They could have cut the whole song out. I would have
Damn, I don't know about that. This is one of the most popular of EP1.
Really?
With 7.6 million listens, compared to the closest one is Feel It Out with 5.9 million.
Oh,
I feel like the bass is too much, and I wasn't crazy about the weird synth or whatever that comes in around 220.
It didn't play nice with my speakers. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it kind of blew them out. Like, you know, when like you get to a point where like the bass is too much for a set of speakers. It was clipping. Yeah.
I like the constant note that's playing in the background that changes a little bit.
Yeah,
later on,
like
it's
the tone shifts a little bit.
Pretty constant, but then it does like a doo-doo-doo or something. I can't remember the exact one, but it changes a couple times later. So I thought it was okay. But yeah, I kind of agree with Jamie. This is like one of the tracks on the album that I could just do without. Yeah.
I just like the word guap.
Oh yeah, I like the word
German
guap.
Whip.
I thought it was.
I heard
it was a
BMW,
food item.
Yeah, the German whip part. I like that part.
Counting old guap.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, catchy.
I didn't like Full of It though. I'll tell you that much.
No, so it ends with Full of It, which is the most unique song on the album.
That's a word for it.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be good live.
Oh,
like, I feel like
okay.
watching someone perform this maybe would be different, but like
maybe
the alarm clock like sound for synth, I'm like
the buzzing, the buzz beat, and then the like. It's just more of the same thumping bass with her kind of droning chant. I really
that's a good way to describe it. It's droning. Yeah.
I really didn't like Full of It. That's easily my least favorite track across both albums.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I like the drum line. It comes in around 2 minutes. It's like
okay,
thump, thump, and I'm like, I like that. But yeah, the blaring sound, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Again, maybe live would feel different because it has more room to like move. But just trampling over top of these other sounds, I was like, I don't. It doesn't do it for me. It's definitely my least favorite song on the whole album. But for me, it doesn't mean much because I like every other song on the album. So like, it's still not a 0. I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, there's no 0 on the album.
There's
just
least favorite on the album.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important. We bring up like if Plouffe and I don't like Bell's pick, or I don't like
vice versa.
Yeah, Plouffe's pick or whatever. I don't think the album is a 0. It's just it's an album.
Other than Joyce rappers rapping, again, that is a 0. No, I'm just kidding.
Harsh but fair. Yeah, it's just one of those. Like it's not for me. It doesn't mean it's a terrible album. Someone out there obviously enjoys it. So.
Yeah.
And that person is Plouffe or Bell.
So overall, what'd you guys think? What's your final thoughts on this one?
Overall, I think it's fine and a good late night club or cruising around music. It's not really for me personally, and I just can't get into the way she talks or almost slowly chants a lot of the time. Like I said a couple times, she just sounds bored. For me, so I kind of struggled to rate this one. I think if it's combined, like the whole thing together, EP1 and 2, I give it like a 6.5. I think EP1 really drags it down though. If it was just EP2, it's probably like a 7 or a 7.5. Like I do like EP2 a fair amount. Probably not enough to go buy it for me personally. But if I was like out dancing or partying or whatever, and someone threw tracks on from EP2, I would enjoy it. And I would have a good time dancing around to it and stuff. So,
I agree with Plouffe. Plouffe's probably said it more articulately than I was going to say it. Yeah, it's not for me. I appreciate that it improves on EP2. Is it a market improvement over EP1?
I'm glad that both of you agreed because I was worried you're going to be like, no, EP1's way better.
But it is definitely not something I would purchase for myself. But that's true of a lot of the stuff. Like you like the Beths, and like that's never something I would ever buy.
Yeah, sure.
Every episode we have to mention the Beths. It's like without fail, the Beths comes up. They love the free advertising.
Yeah, that's that's the only album that I would be like, F that album. Like
go to thebeths.com/vinyl verdict. 10% off
discount. But like, yeah, no, like I agree with what Plouffe said about it. Like, if someone put it on, I would not be like, turn that shit on. This sucks.
He says it a lot too. So that's
I wouldn't say that about that. Like, I wouldn't have like a visceral reaction to it.
What would you give it a 13? What's your run?
Out of 13, probably like a 7.5. It's like that's basically a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's almost like you should just switch to a 10 scale.
No,
That's crazy.
13.
Yeah,
13 is my.
I mean, I
scale.
can't say anything. I don't use a 10 scale. So,
What was your scale? Is it a B?
well, I don't get. Well, I use the top. How long has it been since we recorded that you don't remember that I just do Top Gear? James
we had a
getting
busy August.
James getting old.
Yeah.
My vinyl verdict. I love this album. Easily one of my favorites, and it's one that usually sits in my record players. It's good for almost any company. Like I said, you can bump it loud for party, put it on low just for a vibey romantic setting or whatever like that, just as passive music. I don't have a ton of complaints. I do wish there was maybe a little bit more variety, but with these being pretty much Yaeji's first 10 songs she's released, it's a pretty incredible start to her career. And you can see a ton of growth. She released an actual album / mixtape called What We Drew, and you can see a lot of growth. It's like she took a lot of the feedback from these and made it better. Like it's more fleshed out. There's singing. There's like more dynamic in each song. Like each song is more dynamic, which is really cool. So it's really interesting to see these first 2 EPs. And like I said, even just the growth between 1 and 2 is pretty crazy. I don't know if they were made at the same time and it just happens to be that EP2 is so much better, but it feels like there was actual growth between EP1 and EP2. So I don't know if she was just able to churn something out that quick, but I love this album. It not as quite as much as the experienced and legendary George Clanton. I wasn't, even now I'm like looking at my list. I think I'm going to put it above Leon La Havas. So this will be the 3rd spot underneath Swimming in Circles and George Clanton's Slide because of the record itself. Like I really like the cover, the record, the poster, though I think I maybe would listen to Leon La Havas more often just because it fits more company better. I do like this record better. It didn't have a paper sticker on it from saying made in Germany.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I will never let that go. I can't wait for more Yaeji. I hope she releases more soon. It's been a couple of years since the last album, and I think even the last single she released was in 2021. And I hope she performs somewhere on the West Coast.
You can go see him. Yeah.
I will travel. If you're going to California, I would consider going down just to see it
great.
because I love Yaeji.
I'd go see her live. I think she'd be a good
kill it.
live show. Yeah, had some drinks and stuff.
Yeah. So shout out Yaeji, a great album. Next week, it's Jamie's pick. Jamie, what are we listening to?
We're listening to Paul's Boutique, the 2nd album from the Beastie Boys.
It's actually not the Beastie Boys. It's like Gorillaz. You want to add the in front, but it's just Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
I just call them the boys.
The BBs.
I don't do that.
No, the Boys is a show on HBO.
I know.
Amazon Prime, actually.
Amazon Prime, excuse me.
This guy's getting his streaming services scrambled.
Oh, God.
Well, speaking of scrambled, it's time for us to scramble.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.